Hello, I'm Matthew Melton. This is Matthew Melton's Democracy Show on YouTube, and I'm here in Seattle's University District at the University of Washington neighborhood. Go Huskies and go Hawks. This channel is my political commentary show, and I'm here to present my opinions on major media covered current political news stories, primarily within the realm of the American politica, but part of the time I'll be talking about foreign political news. By politica, I'm referring to political situations surrounding a body of government. I'm a left-leaning Democrat, and I will try to hit the middle of the road when I can for broader appeal. What this channel is a startup, like a little business venture for me. I fully support the Democratic effort to impeach and convict the POTUS, and I'll be following that major American political event until the end, whatever the outcome. Moving on, hello millennials and hello boomers. You're both okay, and thank you for viewing my channel. To subscribe to my channel, please click the little red button below. And hello to all of my regular viewers and subscribers. I appreciate you, and you're my constant motivation in producing this channel. And thank you to the U.S. Constitution and the First Amendment from the bottom of my heart for each and every day of my life. I gave this show, my show number 2, the title of The Perfect Crime, because back in my childhood when I was watching murder mystery movies on TV, I've always remembered the TV detectives talking about how the perfect crime is one with no witnesses. And so now we have the Bolton-Biden stalemate, which is scheduled to be broken by a vote in the Senate today, Friday, January 31st, 2020, which will either allow witnesses to testify or expedite the end of this famous POTUS impeachment trial. The Dems don't want Biden on the stand, and the Republicans don't want Bolton. They don't want Bolton because of his new book, where he contradicts court testimony used in POTUS Trump's defense on the witness stand on live TV. It's an LOL Senate trial statement between the prosecution and the defense, in my opinion. The defense of a stalemate is a position, the definition of a stalemate is a position counting as a draw, in which a player is not in check, but cannot move except into check. I say to us voters, it's pointing to corruption. Am I right? The 4 Republicans needed to break the stalemate by choosing to cross over and vote Democrat are Senator Lamar Alexander of Tennessee, who has, since last night, stated that he will vote against further witnesses and documents. Senator Susan Collins, Maine, has announced since last night that she will vote to admit further evidence into trial. Not telling as of last night, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Senator Mitt Romney of Utah. If there is a tie, then presiding Justice John G. Roberts Jr. is likely to break the tie. Also, 3 legal experts in an opinion article published by the New York Times on Monday argued that the Chief Justice, as presiding officer, has unilateral power to subpoena witnesses because of a clause in the 1986 era rules for impeachment trials, which says that presiding officers may issue orders on their own. So the Senate and media and all of us may get a surprise today should Justice John G. Roberts Jr. have the epiphany and also make the decision to use his power, which is vested in him, and if so, the no vote is required. And that would be, of course, if he has decided to order the witness testimony, then vote or no votes, they can vote either direction, and it still has to be what he says. He has the power. So it can still happen, but it will be counted. The vote can still happen, but it will be counted as historical and will be irrelevant concerning more witness testimony. So the Dems need 3 to cross over, or Justice Roberts to make an announcement today that he will choose to use his presiding justice powers to order more witness testimony, and it's a done deal. A win for the Dems. Should the Democratic caucus win the vote, it will require a subpoena to be issued to former White House Security Advisor John Bolton, which will make compulsory his testimony to the Senate and in all probability wreck POTUS Trump's core defense. But the menacing Red Party's defense team will retaliate by requiring Joe Biden's testimony about himself and his son Hunter Biden's business activities in Ukraine, which is where the quid pro quo debacle is centered upon. This will harm Democrats, although not nearly as much. So it's still a winnable trial as of today for the Democrats caucus supporting the impeachment and conviction. In winning the vote for the Democratic caucus, there will be testimony which will have the potential to evolve and change, and the currently predictable outcome of the trial, the predictable outcome being speedy acquittal for our currently impeached President Donald John Trump, who would have otherwise and still may continue his national campaign in America's red states for his 2020 re-election bid. What a country. Say a prayer. Say prayers daily for our government. They need them. I just read that Mitch McConnell is expecting to win the vote in the Senate today, and he's getting ready to do as was televised and swiftly move towards the POTUS acquittal. I'll say it, sham. I'm mad as hell as a liberal Democrat who is pro impeachment and also pro conviction. Trump is said to be bored and has called his trial a drought on TV. So my second choice of a title of this show would be, will Mitch McConnell acquit our POTUS and Lord Trump, or surprise us all and roll over on his promise to the Red Party and our POTUS in chief, Donald Trump, and bag his acquittal in favor of a POTUS conviction? And believe me, folks, I'm for the latter. But here's why I have a hunch on this one, viewers. On Thursday, February 23rd, 2020, Vice President Mike Pence was caught on hot mic at the World Holocaust Forum saying to Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, that Trump is unstoppable like someone else I know. LOL, right? Well, now that that cat is out of the bag, I don't know much about our vice president, but I've heard rumors that President Trump has threatened to drag him under the bus if he goes down. So as a smart politician, Vice President Mike Pence probably has his gears turning since a couple months ago. And since there's the Trump dump gang and the Republicans red Senate now, I'm just letting my imagination run a little wild with hopes and no doubt that the press is going to catch on and run away with this political hypothesis soon enough. But my viewers heard it here first. LOLs and prayers. Because I haven't heard or read about it anywhere else as of today, Friday, January 31st, 2020, right now the major network news is justifiably zeroed in on the Chinese quarantine at Wuhan, China, because of the coronavirus, which I will also be doing some commentary about, although it's outside of my typical political opinion and commentary show format. So here's a good one. It's intuition. I'm not going to imagine this is actually going to happen, but our Lord POTUS Trump's guard is down right now. He's bored and desiring a swift acquittal, which he appears to be entirely confident about. What if Vice President Mike Pence and Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, have a surprise epiphany to join the Trump dump gang and get in bed, politically speaking, to make a plan to roll over? It's going to be all hail our new Red Party's President Mike Pence this year, and convincingly, the Republican voting blah. Anyways, moving on. Won't that be a welcome surprise to all my Democratic pro-Trump impeachment viewers if something like that happened? Well, for me it would be, for sure. But right now, it's just a hypothesis, I tell you. I have no real good evidence to substantiate my Senate trial foresight on this one. Here's one reason why. It could happen. Mitch McConnell is not too popular with Democrats these days. And in Washington, politicians hate that because there's constant arguing and cold shouldering, and not much business can get done. Well, to break that situation that is at hand because of the trial, Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, and a whole bunch of Red Party Republican senators might very well have a surprise group epiphany and at the last minute decide to bag Trump's acquittal. Go debt-free with a Trump conviction is highly unlikely as it sounds. And if they did and get the benefits of the gratuity of the new POTUS in chief at the start of this new decade, and Lord POTUS Trump's last year in office anyways, with his benefits package and all of the great reciprocal gratitude that will come from the House Dems, who will feel glorious victory in having succeeded in their long POTUS impeachment campaign. Why it could bring about an all-new period of partisan unity in Washington, D.C. Not to mention, a lot of new Ukrainian evidence is just going to float away because, although it exists, there's just no one to prosecute because Mike Pence and the Red Senate were not involved in that international foobar. It was purely and only the Trump administration. And I'll bet that Mitch McConnell could get that in writing from a grateful House Majority Leader, Adam Schiff, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi if he tried. He is the all-powerful leader of the Senate after all, isn't he? Also, politicians like Senator Mitch McConnell don't like to be the bad guy at this level. Not for long. This is one of my main reasons why I think that he might bag on Trump. Doesn't want to be the bad guy. Not for long. A long time like he has been in order to defend President Trump during this trial. It's been very embarrassing and menacing. He is far too old and wise enough. I'm just doing my show and examining what I see as a possibility, which is that it could happen. Also, I'll be laughing out loud when it does. For sure I will. And if Senator McConnell does see it that way, I'll be happy to have another Republican POTUS this year who is not President Trump. So welcome President Mike Pence if Trump should be convicted. Uh, uh, should the Republicans make that surprise choice and vote to convict? Vote. I haven't been a Republican in many years, and I can't count all of those reasons why I would be so happy to see President Trump convicted and Mike Pence as the new president of the United States. Uh, this intuitive hypothesis is just paying attention to random events and this whole POTUS impeachment and trial scandal. I was imagining that such a thing could happen before, but now that I just got wind of the group of Republicans in the Senate who are supporting the conviction of Trump, then they must also be considering new President Mike Pence. That being said, here's my big question. Will Mitch McConnell ultimately roll over on his man Trump, who is now sitting so calmly, since he knows from McConnell's earlier statements that he has the whole trial in the bag? What do you think? Will McConnell bag on POTUS Trump and roll over on him, allowing for a conviction, which means that sentencing or no sentencing, Trump's sentence is that he loses his last year in office and will no longer be President of the United States. And I expect that new POTUS, Mike Pence, will be sworn in to office on that day of sentencing. So what is your view? Am I in target with this one? Will Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, surprise POTUS Trump and roll over on his acquittal, which Trump is now nagging for and is in hot anticipation of? This would be a fruitful surprise to the entire country, especially the Democratic Party and those in the House who supported the impeachment, who have worked so hard through the impeachment, who also took high risks, prompting